Cat. Nope. Long-range bomb to Cat. Grizzlies still win, though. Memphis now in 5th place. Sneaky playoff team. And finally, the weird. Back to Nets Bulls. Harden, done complaining. Now he's celebrating because he got a call. I'm sure this endears you to the refs. I'm sure the refs will love this. Oh, you know what? We should give him more calls. Oh, great job, fellas. You lost. Nets lose. Harden shoots 3 free throws. Finishes with 14 points. And that's the weird and wonderful from National Pastime.
That's good stuff. Kevin Wilds. Back here with Antoine Walker. Time to run the fast break, starting with little Hornets Lakers. Still no LeBron, so the makeshift big three of AD, Russ, and Melo went to work. The Brow was the star. 32 points, 12 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 3 steals on the defensive end as well. Melo had another lights-out shooting night off the bench. 7 of 10 from deep. He had 29. Russ triple-doubled, and the Lakers beat the Hornets in overtime. But, Nick, what did we learn about the Lakers last night?
Well, they almost had, if you didn't stay up late to watch this, this was almost an egregious loss. They were up 14 in the 4th. They were up 11 with 4 minutes left, and they damn near lost. And, Antoine, they really almost lost because at the very end of regulation, when AD misses the 3 tied with the game tied, Russ commits a impossibly bad foul with 1 second left, and they got away with it because the Hornets had just called timeout. So the Lakers are not good right now. They are far too Carmelo Anthony reliant, and they cannot close out games without LeBron James. I mean, they blew a lead against OKC. They blew another lead against OKC. They tried to blow a lead against the Hornets. So listen, they needed a win, and the Hornets are a decent team, so you'll take that win. Obviously, AD was excellent, but I think LeBron is going to play 60 games this regular season, would be my guess. I think that would be smart. I think they're going to be every nick and bruise. They're going to give him an extra week. They got to figure out how to close out and finish games without LeBron James' hand on the joystick. So I'm glad the Lakers won, but that wasn't an impressive finish for them after they had the great end of 3rd, beginning of 4th quarter push to get a 14-point lead.
I think it's coming down now. If you watch the Lakers and if you've watched them these first 11 games, the problem is Russ, and Nick, you guys know I'm a huge Russ fan. But his decision-making has been bad late in games, and I actually believe that I think he's obviously going to get better, but it's starting to be a little disturbing. You look at last night, and AD shoots a 3. That's uncalled for with the game tied up. Then you get another opportunity to close the game out. AD shoots another 15-foot jump shot without posting up. I want to blame Frank Vogel, and sometimes you want to blame it on the coach, but when you got guys that are possibly going to be Hall of Fame guys, guys that are top 75 guys that ever played this game, they should be able to close games out without LeBron James. So I do agree with you on that, Nick. Now, LeBron is very smart and one of the highest IQs that's ever played a game. But you can't tell me these guys are going to be future Hall of Famers. And I'm blaming Russ, AD, not so much Melo. Melo's been terrific and great offense. Yeah. And shooting the 3, it's the way that you should be.
We lost you for a second there, Antoine. We lost you for a second, my friend. But yes, Melo's been excellent. And here's the thing for Russ, though, Antoine, where I will give him the benefit of the doubt is the beginning of his time in Houston, he was bad. The last 2.5 months of the season, he was exceptional. The exact same thing played out in Washington. He was awful, and the team was awful at the beginning of last season. The last couple months of the year, he was like 24, 14, and 14. The concern is this, Antoine. Even when Russ gets, let's just say he needs to hit his second half of the season legs, if you will, whatever it is, needs to get in the rhythm, understand his new teammates. He's not going to have the opportunities that he had in Washington last year because the ball is going to be in LeBron's hands. So I just think this is going to be a continuous work in progress. The team, for the first time under Vogel, Jenna, is not playing defense, which there's no excuse for that with Anthony Davis out there, and especially if you're going to be playing big. And they are trying to blow these games late. Right now, the Lakers look nothing like a championship-level team, and they haven't looked like a championship-level team all year. Now, because I believe in LeBron, I think they will get it figured out, and I also don't think they necessarily are going to have this roster the whole season. I think they have moves to make. But right now, the Lakers are a mediocre team, and that's how they've played through the first, what are we at, 12% of the season, Antoine?
Well, I'm not going to jump off the ship yet. I'm going to stay on the ship because they're hurt. Whether people believe it or not, they need Kejic Noah and Horton. They need to get younger, get some youth in that lineup. Those two guys are two young, terrific players that will help them out. They got to get LeBron James on the court. I don't know if seeding matters with this team because you got LeBron James, and he's proven that he can go in any arena in any big game and win a game on the road. So you want to be healthy. That's a main concern of mine. Can they be healthy at the end of the season? So they've got some concerns. And then the last thing I'll add to that, Frank Vogel has to coach these guys hard. You got to put aside what these guys have accomplished and coach them hard. This is what separates the Phil Jackson, the Popoviches of the world. They coach their players very hard, Pat Riley's. You have to coach them hard. You got to hold them accountable. You got to have tough film sessions. You have to show Russ his mistakes. I mean, it's crazy to say that, but you have to be tough on these guys to get these guys to stop making the same mistakes over and over. If we're 30 games into the season and we're still saying the same thing, you got to start to look at the coaching.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, we got to move on. Head to Antoine's hometown of Chicago. Nets, Bulls, and the struggles for James Harden continue. Nick's been saying it. He rarely even attempts twos anymore. He's like the anti-Ben Simmons. 14 points last night on 4 of 11 shooting. League's leading scorer, KD, had 38, but the Bulls won, snapping Brooklyn's 5-game win streak. Antoine, are Harden's struggles a big deal or no big deal?
Well, they're a big deal because they're going to need a different Harden. They're going to need the Harden that we've saw over the last 6 or 7 years to come back. He's doing a great job of distributing the basketball. He's starting the league in assists. When he does get to the line, he's making his free throws. His three-point percentage just came up to 40%, so he's starting to make his three a little bit. But they need him to be a scorer. I think he's taking about 12, 13 shots a game. KD's been unbelievable offensively, but they're going to need Harden to get up there to about 17, 18 shots a game because he's not getting to the foul line. So he has to be more efficient. And if they don't, and I'm just basing this off Kyrie Irving not coming back. If Kyrie Irving does not come back, if they have any aspirations of getting to the finals, Harden has to be Harden. The 25, 26, 30-point nights, they're going to need that from him if they have any chance of advancing in the playoffs. It's just right now they can't have Harden being kind of a, non-aggressive Harden, as to say. He has to be aggressive. He has to be the guy that we've seen in the last 6, 7 years if they have any chance of making a deep run.
So there was some rumor that Kyrie might come back because the New York City mayor would change the vaccination status rules in the city, and then the mayor finally had a press conference like, no, I'm not changing it. So that idea is out the window unless Kyrie gets vaxxed. So, Nick, I've got 3 reasons that Harden is struggling. You can divide up the Harden struggling pie however you want. For me, I'm giving a large chunk of it to it's in his own head that he's not getting the fouls. So that's going to be about 55% of the pie. Then I'm dividing the other part of the pie between his hamstring still hurting and a tiny, tiny slice to the new ball. I feel like the new ball might be affecting Harden, but just the other 2 slices of the pie are so big we're not talking about it. I think it's affecting Dame. A few people have talked about it. I wouldn't be surprised if the new ball is affecting Harden.
No, because he's shooting a good percentage from 3. He's shooting a good percentage from 3. So I reject the new ball part of it.